We've all heard of the $64 question. Here's the 64 answer. What is it? A 6-foot, straight-through McCormick harvester thresher, the number 64. What's so outstanding about that? Two things. First, it was designed to meet the requests of farmers. And second, it exceeds those requests so far that it's superior in every specification. It excels in every operation. That sounds like a broad and important statement. It is. It's not only important that this machine will harvest all grains, seeds, and beans, but also the fact that this combine will do the job better, faster, and with more certainty than any other combine in its class. It's low in cost. It's economical to operate. The speed at which this machine cuts grain can be maintained all day, and for a longer day, earlier in the morning and later in the evening. All important bearings are self-aligning ball bearings of the sealed-in lubricant type. This and other details require less time for servicing and leave more time for operating. If the grain is beaten down and lodged, the cutter bar, within 2 inches of the ground if necessary, gets it all. Regardless of the amount of straw, the 64's exceptional capacity can thresh and separate all the grain so that none falls with the straw and chaff. In bumper crops, even though straw is heavy, tough, and bulky, this 6-foot straight-through machine rolls steadily forward. Look at the amount of straw it's handling. This wheat made more than 50 bushels per acre. Let's move in for a close look at the operation of cutting and feeding. The reel, adjusted to the correct position and speed, is placing the heavy crop on the conveyor exactly right, with the heads first. In slow motion, watch carefully how the grain flows steadily up the conveyor to the beater that feeds the cylinder evenly and positively. It's threshed as it grows in a smooth, even stream that keeps on pouring through hour after hour. It moves right on through in a straight line. The grain goes to the tank and the straw returns to the soil. It's well enough to say all these things about a combine, and the machine seems to be accomplishing them here in the field. But what are the reasons? What is the background? That can be learned better by a close look at the machine. With the self-aligning, pre-lubricated ball bearings in all important places, notice how the machine coasts to a stop. The engine is mounted where it's handy in clean air and has direct V-belt drives to the cylinder and the separator. Let's look first at the straight-through principle. There it is, straight through from the cutter bar to the tail. Every head and every straw can follow its own path without congestion or turning. But that's not enough. Let's look at the entire machine in diagram. Its balanced flow, the matched capacity of the 5 principles of a harvester thresher that's so important. The way cutting and feeding deliver the crop evenly and smoothly. The capacity for threshing all crops, even under adverse conditions. The area for separating at the cylinder and on the straw rack. With the capacity and the proper airflow for cleaning thoroughly and well. It's the matched capacity of these 5 operations embodied in the straight-through machine that give outstanding performance. Now, let's see those features on this machine. The cutter bar, that's a full 6 feet. Reel bats may be feathered for different crops or for varying conditions. The reel has adjustments for speed, horizontal position, and vertical position. Height of the scoop-type feeder is easily adjusted from 35 inches to 2 inches. The length keeps the angle of elevation from being greater than 28 degrees. There's no hesitation as the crop moves up this conveyor. The dynamically balanced cylinder is mounted in self-aligning ball bearings. It is 64 1/4 inches wide, has 6 rasp bars, and has tremendous capacity. Its speed adjustment is at the engine drive. This variable speed pulley and a matching one on the cylinder are changed in diameter by loosening 3 stud screws and adjusting 3 bolts to move the flanges in or out and make the belt ride high or low in the pulleys. Cylinder speeds vary from 600 to 1600 revolutions per minute. Clearance adjustments are made just as quickly. 4 nuts are loosened and the screw moves the cylinder closer to or farther from the concaves. A positive clearance inspection is easily made to be certain of proper setting for any crop or for changing conditions during the day. The 4-wing beater feeds the crop evenly and correctly to the cylinder. Here is what takes place. All the threshing is done here, and up to 90% of the separation. And now the other functions. Notice this rocker arm that produces alternate reciprocal action. Everything's smooth, no vibration, and look at that action. The small percentage of grain that is left in the straw will be separated here. From above, let's see the large area and the design of this rack. Steel construction takes up minimum space and provides maximum area for grain, beans, and seeds to fall through. It's capacity here that puts grain on the grain pan instead of out the back end. The grain pan spreads the threshed grain over a broad area as it passes through the sieves, and the air blows away the chaff. A new design spreads the air more evenly over the entire area to give cleaner grain in the grain tank. The specifications and design of these sections produce this perfect mechanical operation. With matched capacity in cutting and feeding, in threshing, in separating, and in cleaning, there's a balanced flow of any crop through this machine. Since the highest efficiency of these functions depend upon adjustments for varying conditions, these adjustments are conveniently located. The air volume is regulated with one simple push or pull action. The chaffer and sieves are conveniently regulated at the rear, as is the setting for the extension chaffer, one of the greatest grain-saving devices on any combine. The grain tank holds 25 bushels and will empty in 80 to 90 seconds. It's placed correctly for low center of gravity. The power unit may be taken off and used for other purposes. The combine can be obtained for operation from a power takeoff drive. Now, it's easily understood why this straight-through number 64 McCormick Harvester Thresher can do the job better, faster, more economically, and with more certainty than any other combine in its class. It's the combine requested by farmers. It's the combine built for farmers. Regardless of who asks the question or what the question may be, this is the 64 answer.